welcome back. Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. So, first of all, let's start off. It is Monday. Same thing we like to do on every Monday is what is it that you need to accomplish this week so that on Friday you can say it's been a successful week, and that most importantly, you've done the things throughout the week that are getting you closer to your bigger goals. So leave me a comment wherever you're listening to this. Email me at jeff@jeffheggie.com, whatever you want. But figure out the things that you need to prioritize this week and change from a should to a must, and get them done so that you're getting closer to your bigger goals and that you can have a successful week. Now, today what I want to talk about my momentum series, but I want to talk about a little bit of why I was MIA last week. So it all started with some travel and got home and everything, but my oldest daughter got married. We had a beautiful wedding. Things were just perfect. We had a lot of things going on throughout the week. We had family here, different things happening. And I decided just to put the podcast off for a week while I dealt with those family things. But I want to talk about some of the things with the wedding and some of the things that happened. And then I'm going to tie it into my momentum series, and you'll understand in a moment. So my daughter, they got married on a Monday because her husband plays college football. We had to go out and pick him up in Utah, brought him home so they could get married on Monday. They had a few days here, and then they had to fly home because he had to fly out to Pennsylvania for another football game. Well, everything with the wedding was perfect. So many generous people, so many people involved in helping make it the perfect wedding, all these different things. And it was just beautiful. And then they flew home. He flew out to Pennsylvania. She was actually driving a couple hours south to meet up with more of our family because my nephew was playing football in another college game. So she wanted to meet up and still spend some time with some family there. Halfway there, it was late at night, and her car breaks down in the middle of nowhere where she didn't even have cell service. Luckily, she was able to limp a long ways till she got to cell service. We ended up having to get a tow truck, haul it back to the nearest town. I called around. There's no hotels. And so my wife hops on a plane. She flies out to Utah, rents a car, and she was going to head down and pick her up. In the meantime, I'm calling the hotels, couldn't get her in. And I was able to get one to say, yeah, let her just hang out in our lobby until your wife gets here. So long story short, it all turns out okay. She's stressed. Her car still isn't fixed. She doesn't know what's going to happen yet. But, went from a very high of a beautiful wedding, getting married to her high school sweetheart, to him being in Pennsylvania, her breaking down in the middle of nowhere, not knowing what's happening, not knowing what she's going to do, and then everything working out okay. Now, I want to look at this with my momentum series for a little bit. If you've never checked out my momentum series, go to jeffheggie.com/momentum, and you'll be able to find out more information on it there. But I want to talk about some of the things with the momentum series. As these two newlyweds are starting a new life, I was thinking about it and how similar it is to what a lot of people are doing right now as we're getting out of this pandemic. I put this momentum series together about a year ago when the pandemic first began, because in my mind I thought, whatever is going to happen here, I didn't think it would be this long, but I thought whatever is going to happen, there's going to be people that are just sitting back waiting for things to be over. And it's those that are proactive, that have their plans in place, that are doing things that they need to be ready for when the pandemic ends, that'll be out in front of the line and be able to take advantage of opportunities and stuff. Now, there are those people that were taking action right away, and there's lots that weren't. And, like the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Because there's people that were taking action a year ago. If you're not one of them, start today. You need to start today. You need to get my momentum series. Go to jeffheggie.com/momentum and get it as soon as you can. Because we are starting a new life right now. The world's different than it was a year ago. There's a lot of things that aren't going to go back to how they used to be. There's a lot of things that are starting to open up. Over the last month, there's a lot of changes that have happened. There's a lot of places right now, where my family's from, Alberta. It seems like it's going backwards, but most of the people I know are in states right now that we're seeing progress. We're seeing results and things happening that opening up, and there's a lot more hope. But as we look at this, it's just like a new marriage. We're starting a new life, moving forward. What are you doing to make sure that you're on the right foot? Now, starting off with the Momentum series, it's 3 videos. In the first video, we talk about confidence and momentum, and it's tied in with some things I learned through Tony Robbins, where you look at the potential we have, tie it in with taking action on what we're trying to do, looking at the results we create, and as the momentum's going with that, positive results create what he calls belief and certainty, what I call confidence. And as we have more confidence, it increases our potential, and it's a cycle. The more potential we have, the more action we'll take, the better results we get, the more confidence we get, and it continues on. So put that into perspective of the wedding. My daughter and her husband get married. Things are perfect. The potential is going. They're taking the action. They're heading back home where they're going to live. He's heading to his football game. She's heading out. And what happens? Her car breaks down. The results aren't what they were hoping for. And so the reason I want to look at this is what happens when things don't work out, when we run into a pandemic and everything was going great, and all of a sudden something happens and it takes away our confidence. It takes away our hope. What do we need to do? One of the things we can do is, okay, so we take more massive action. Is that going to do it? Well, if we're not getting the right results, it's not. So we've got to really look at things and create the momentum so that we can get that confidence back. And a lot of that, as you'll learn in the Momentum series, there's a lot of things that are involved in that, from visualizations to, getting the results in advance. And, in the Momentum series, I use Klay Thompson as an example. When he was in a slump in the NBA finals, he kept shooting because he's got the results in advance, because he's put so much work into it that he knew he was a great shooter. Now, looking at it from their marriage standpoint, they're young newlyweds, and I told her, this is a hard thing you're going through. You're going to go through a lot of hard things, but as you look at things and how are you going to deal with them, and knowing things in advance, how you're going to deal with them, will help you when those tragedy comes. Simple things like I had talked to him about, first thing you need to do is start your emergency fund. It's for stuff like this. When your car breaks down, if you have an emergency fund, you've got something to deal with. So the first series is all about creating that confidence, having that momentum to create that confidence, and when things go sideways on you, what you can do to get that confidence back. And obviously it's a lot more detailed than what I quickly just went through. But, the other part is the next video in the series is about future pacing. And it's about really getting clarity on where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, what you want to do, and how you're going to get there. And the way we do it is we put ourselves out a year in advance and look at it from the standpoint of, okay, this next year has been the best year of my life. Everything's been perfect. Everything I've wanted has happened. Now, if that's the case, what are those things that made that year so perfect? And then reverse engineering it and saying, okay, if that was the best year of my life, what did I have to do to make it so? And those are your goals. You set up your goals that way. And then that's how we can reverse engineer it and say, just like I started this episode, saying it's Monday, what are your goals this week that are going to help you have a successful week and get you closer to your bigger goals? But when you know what your big goal is, what your end of year goal is, then you've got to reverse engineer it and say, okay, if that's my goal, if I want to accomplish that, what do I need to accomplish each month? And if I want to accomplish those things each month, break it down to what do I need to accomplish each week so I can get to those monthly goals. And as we break that down and we stay focused on those things, we can get closer and closer and build ourselves up until we can achieve those goals that we set for ourselves. And then we go into, more details on that as well. But then there's also, just like the car breaking down, you're still going to have the time that things go wrong, that things don't go exactly as planned, and you've got to deal with that. And so one of the things we need to do is really truly understand your purpose, understand your why. Why do you want to accomplish these goals? And so we go through a process, because a lot of people, you say, okay, you've got this goal. Why? What is the purpose behind it? And they'll tell you. But we go through a process that goes much deeper. It's a process I learned through Dean Graziosi called 7 Levels Deep. And we go much deeper, and it brings a lot more emotion and makes you really understand why you've got a specific goal. And when you do that, that's what's going to keep you going when things get tough. When things get tough and you're having a bad day, you don't want to work on your goals. That why is the purpose that's going to push you to continue on trying to achieve those things. And so really looking at the momentum series, it's something I've thought a lot about this past week as I've looked at the different things that my daughter's gone through with starting their new life together, with running into some difficulties, and then what we had to do to solve the problems, and looking at it as, at that moment, those were some huge problems to her. Yeah, she was stuck in the middle of nowhere without a car, not knowing what to do. But we solved the problems. Life's still good. They still had a beautiful wedding. They still had a great week. He went out, won his game in Pennsylvania. They're ranked nationally. Things are going really good. And they've got a lot of bright things ahead for them. So what I want to encourage you to do, if you haven't gone through my momentum series, it's a free series. It's only 3 videos long. Go check it out. jeffheggie.com/momentum. If you have taken it and you want to take it to the next level, check out my High Achievers Mindset Secrets. That one is mindset.jeffheggie.com. I was actually talking with someone on last week that has gone through both of them, and she told me how going through the momentum series was so powerful for her, but going through High Achievers Mindset Secrets, the very beginning of that course reviews some of the things that you go through in the momentum series, but from a different perspective, and really reiterated and helped her to really apply it better in her life. So hopefully these are things that you find helpful, and hopefully you'll go check out the momentum series. It's like I said, it's free, and I think there's a lot of value in it. And if you have taken it or you are taking it, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what kind of impact it's having, what your thoughts are on it. So let me know, leave comments. And I'd love to just have more and more people in that. And so if you know someone that might really have an advantage by going through something like this, please share this episode with them. And hopefully it's something that can help more and more people. But thanks again for being with me. Glad that I'm back. I'm going to be doing a lot of these episodes like this still this week, but I do have a couple this week. I'm going to share an interview that I had that there's going to be some huge value in those. I'll share one of those tomorrow. But thanks for being with me. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Have a good day.